Welcome into Capper's Cave. I'm your host, Lorenzo de Costa. This is free picks and shit on Capper's Cave, brought to you by Intellect Sports. We got NFL best bets for the Turkey Day bets. This will be a short show. We're putting it out early, obviously, Thanksgiving, so we wanted to give you some bets on the Thanksgiving Day games, which are looking to be some great ones. And maybe we might have a couple from Saturday and also Friday. Maybe one NFL from Sunday. We'll see. We've only done so much research. Again, short show, but listen in. Again, there'll be more picks on the apps. We're going to put all our picks out there on the app at Capper's Cave. So get the app if you want some more plays. And that's it. We did okay last week. Still hovering around 56%. Which ain't too shabby. We'll take it. Let's jump into some college news. Oh, yeah, sorry, we don't have Locksmith in this week because of Thanksgiving. He's off for the week. So, Larry, we're thinking about you. Sorry you can't put in a pick for us, but we'll wait till next week for you. Yeah, college news. We had a nice win against Ohio State. I mean, the game was kind of scary early. It was getting away. I mean, they were up. I believe they were almost covering, or they were covering at the half, but then this Penix guy, man, he came back. He's pretty good. Since he pulled off a nice win, no cover, thanks to some garbage TDs, but they're looking at the playoffs now. In fact, they have a higher percentage to make it over Clemson right now. I mean, they're still in the fourth or fifth spot, but it should be interesting how that plays out. As well as this year with all the COVID shit and more to come, so we'll see. We had a couple bets get canceled last week, of course. Everybody did. And, oh well, we still got action. Still seems to be moving on. So let's hope after these holidays that things don't get worse. But we'll see. Coastal Carolina, we talk about them every week. Another big win and cover. And they got a big game coming up next. We might have a play on it. But I mean, we love, what's this other team? Liberty. We talk about them every week. Yeah, they're playing each other next week. Game's on 12-5, so they get a little break. Should be a good one. And both teams probably going to get a nice bowl game. I mean, no playoffs with the schedules that they have, but these coaches we talk about should be primed for a big payday. They're going to go somewhere else, I'm sure of it. Jamie Chadwell for Coastal Carolina, two-time FCS National Coach of the Year finalist. He won like a three-time Big South Coach of the Year. And this Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze, that's just a cool name of Liberty. I mean, remember that name. It's a great one. I mean, these boys have been rolling and covering all year and last year. And they just had a tough loss last game. They lost to NC State, which is one they can lose and still get a pretty good bowl game. They've only got one loss. They lost to him by 1 point, but covered, you know. Another small market team making us some money on the line and on the over. This Kent State team in the MAC might be a play here this week. No Tuesday action this week, but check the app. We'll have some games. Also the Liberty game on Friday too. Check the app. Get it. UCLA. This is a team we like this year. Still early in the pack, but they've been quietly covering and keeping games close. Keep an eye on them. Keep an eye. Wisconsin, Graham Mertz. I feel like every time we talk up a Big Ten quarterback, they turn to shit next game. I mean, Rocky Lombardi, this guy, I believe there was another one out there, but still, man, Northwest, they're a good team. Tennessee, proven to be one of the best bets against in college. In fact, all of football probably. They're 1-5-1 on the year at ATS. Just keep betting against them every game. Might as well. It's a hot trend. Stay with it. They're just they're just having so much trouble this year. They were heavily touted, right, to be a decent team in the SEC, but they can't. They got so many problems in the locker room and everywhere. It's just bad. Speaking of some pissed off coaches, which I'm sure Tennessee's is pretty pissed off, but Clemson, Dabo, he was so pissed about last game's being canceled. I guess fucking Florida State just effing shit up down there, and they canceled last minute. So look for them to rebound angry this week. And I think it's a favorable low spread against Pittsburgh. It's only 24 points. And a good over sitting at 55. I think they should put that up alone. Again, might be on the app. Good play. So look into those. Let's get into quick NFL talk, and then we'll get to our picks for you. Tom Brady. You saw last night's game? Yeah. Proven his age again. Did you see that double throw last night? Oh, it hit off the back of a guard. He caught it and then threw it again. I mean...
Tummy likey. Tummy want wingy.
Come on. No double passes forward. No, yeah, you can't do that. No fifth downs. I mean, geez, I mean, he had trouble throwing deep, just way off the mark. He really was. Just not looking good, Tommy boy, just not looking good.
Tommy want wingy.
I don't think he knows what's going on out there. This could be his last year. I don't know. Brownies. Off a nice little win, I think we can say. Another sloppy game. They got a nice little win streak going. I mean, does the sun ever shine there? I mean, does it? I mean, but at least...
Could be worse, though. At least we're not Detroit.
Yeah, I suppose it could be worse.
We're not Detroit.
Quick fact, though. Ravenna, Ohio, about a half hour southeast of Cleveland. On average, the cloudiest place in America. Really, that's true. Used to be like a World War II artillery base because they didn't have satellite imagery, and more than likely if you're flying over it, you couldn't see it. So that's why they had it there, and they put it there. Probably still is till this day. Oh, Ohio. Anywho, small, lean on the Browns. Check the app. Actually, we might give you one of those picks. I'm not sure if that's one of our NFL picks on the show today. We'll see. Speaking of Detroit, yeah, speaking of them, wow. Lost 20-0 against a 5'10" XFL quarterback for the Panthers. Really? Detroit, I mean, I think you should join the XFL if it still exists. Does it still? I mean, same with Philly, but we won't get into that. I mean, maybe they should try to get Andrew Luck back. You know, since they're not having too much success with the XFL. If you didn't know, I think the Lucks are involved. The part owners, I think, of the XFL. I don't even know what happened to this year. They're probably in bankruptcy, what have you. But anyways, back to this Panther quarterback, Walker. I don't know if he'll play this week, but this guy was pretty good. He even threw 2 interceptions in the red zone. Detroit couldn't do anything. I mean, Stafford, Patricia, come the fuck on. This may be a play for our Turkey Day games. Just maybe. Are we getting up to that yet? No, we're not. Miami, too. I wanted to talk about this just a little bit. We were right. Maybe. We knew he would fall off this horse at some point, right? Not many rookies can do it consistently for the whole year. And by it, I mean, well, play and win. But yet, it's been his team. Really, if you watch the last 4 games, the team has picked him up, really. And he hasn't really shown out great, but he's been doing good. He'll be there. I mean, it's a tough place to play in Denver, high altitude. I mean, I shouldn't give him any excuses. We're just not completely sold on the Dolphins. I mean, he'll be back. He'll be starting again. They did bench him in that game. Fitztragic, whatever you want to call him, didn't come back, do anything. The Raiders. Watch out for these guys. Funny, I really feel that they won that game against KC. Anybody feel that way? I think we all thought, like, ass-kicking. No way KC loses twice to Las Vegas. I mean, watch out for Gruden and the boys. Maybe he'll be in for Coach of the Year if they keep it up. Absolutely. All right, well, let's get in to our Thanksgiving Day picks. Got some good ones on the board. The Washington football team at Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys sitting at -2.5. Battle of the dumpster division. Both off wins. Both still in contention for the NFC East. And the winner here will be in first place. Last game, Dallas obviously wins the level of competition, beating Minnesota in Minnesota. And Washington beat the Burrow-less Bengals game at home, which, again, Burrow, I hope you're doing well, but we're not going to see you for a while. That sucks. Sucks for the Bengals organization. But you should have been protecting the guy. Maybe you should not even play him this year. Anyways, home team on Thanksgiving on a short week should have more motivation here in Dallas. Dallas finally has all the playmakers contributing, which they've had a problem with all year. Besides the Dak injury, of course. But Dalton looked good, 3 TDs. Elliott finally, first game over 100 yards. Cooper, 81 yards receiving. I mean, Washington may have a good defense, but has one of the worst offenses in the league. They're ranked like 29th in scoring, putting up 20 points per game. I mean, they're a solid 10th in scoring defense by limiting opposing teams to 22.7 per contest. Dallas may be horrible this year, but still rank in the top 10 in most offensive categories. I mean, Dallas has covered the last 2 here. Kept it a 1-score game with the Steelers. Now get a chance to avenge a 25-3 beatdown by Washington this season. But that beatdown, that was with Kyle Allen in there, who's no longer the QB of Washington. Yeah, Alex Smith, up and down. I mean, both teams, though, we can admit they struggle offensively. On a short week, old and rusty QBs, this game will be won in the trenches and on the ground, and we'll side with the better team with the better run game in Elliott. I mean, Washington's D's, they'll keep this game close, but the Red Rocket will make enough plays to complement the run. Eat the small points, -2.5 at home on Turkey Day. Next up, another great one. Houston at Detroit. Another 2.5 spread. The 2.5 points going to the home team here. Excuse us there. Detroit getting points at home. Primarily due to the last game, maybe. Or the last 4. They didn't put up any points against the average Carolina team, who started, again, the XFL quarterback. Barely beat Washington the week before. Lost to Minnesota and Indy, which both were an ass-whooping. Detroit is a mess right now. Coach Patricia on the hot seat. Now they got to fix all their problems in a short week, and not happening. And the Patricia news is everywhere. Peeps need someone to blame, and it's him. I mean, this puts distance in the locker room. Knowing your coach is about to get fired. Yes, this can be motivating, but if the players agree with the fans and the management, well, it can't be good for their overall morale of this team. Houston, on the other hand, they already did it early, got rid of their coach, and now there's no pressure on interim coach Romeo. Yes, he needs to win, but he can't be blamed for the season. Houston has their own struggles, but look good in the last few games, and just outmatched his predecessor, Belichick, and the boys, Romeo. Prior game, they just lost 10-7 at the Browns in an ugly weather game. They beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville. They should come in this one feeling pretty loosey-goosey and relaxed, knowing that they have nothing to lose. And watch out for Watson in prime time game. He always comes to play. Eat the small points before it moves. Some good ATS numbers here. Lions 3-10-1 ATS versus the team with a winning record. 1-5 ATS in their last 6 games on field turf. 1-7-1 in their last 9 games following an ATS loss. They're 0-8 ATS in their last 8 Thursday games, which I'd imagine is quite a bit. Was probably got a couple Thanksgiving games in there, is what that consists of. They're 0-8 in their last 8 games in that week where they usually play the Thanksgiving. So they just do horrible on Thanksgiving. Texans, on the other hand, 15-5-2 ATS in their last 22 games, and for allowing less than 90 yards rushing in their previous game. Texans, 6-2-1 ATS in their last 9 games, accumulating more than 250 yards. Telling you, excuse me, but take the Texans with the small points and lock it up.
It could be worse though, at least we're not Detroit. We're not Detroit.
Really, it's bad. It's getting bad there. It's getting bad there. They keep bringing in guys. We talked about it before, but man, I've always liked Stafford too. I love, he's got big numbers. But they always do this. They bring in these big time people and throw them away. I mean, he's been there for how many seasons now? Quite a bit. Next up, the last game of the night for Thanksgiving. Hopefully this game stays because there is COVID issues at the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game, because this will be the best game of that day, I'm sure. We're all going to watch the other games because that's the only thing on. But this one will be good. Ravens at Steelers. Steelers sitting at -3.5, probably moving up quick, knowing that Baltimore, well, to say it lightly, the struggle is real there. Off another close loss. Yes, lost the last 3 or 4, short week. Now going to Pitt with COVID issues, and not small COVID issues. They'll be out with their top 2 backs, running backs. And the run game is what they base that offense around. Lamar will have to play his best game ever to get by the Steelers' D, to get a win and a cover. Pitt, right now, they should be nice, relaxed, sitting pretty at 10-0. When you have that mindset, with no pressure, winning becomes easy. The Steelers have covered the last 3 or 4 against the Ravens. 8-2 ATS on the season, and should be primed to get another one here, knowing that they get a nice little break after this. Ravens 1-8 ATS in their last 9 games after following a straight-up loss. Listen, if you guys want to take a safe bet on Turkey Day, build your bankroll for the weekend, play a 6-point game teaser with Pitt, Houston, Dallas, and also take Dallas in the under. Pays to plus 235. Not too shabby. But that's it for our Gobble Day. I think there is some action. Not the greatest games on Turkey Day for the college, but we're not even going to get into that. We do have one notable. We're not completely sold on this game yet. Number 2, Notre Dame. At number 23, North Carolina. North Carolina getting 4.5 points. The reason we're not sold on it is we think that the price is going to go up here for North Carolina. We like North Carolina. Okay, we got a good lean on them, but we're going to wait to see this number go up. We think this is an upset alert. I mean, NC, now they get a chance to knock off the number 2 team in the nation. I mean, this is going to be Notre Dame's toughest match yet, because they didn't have to play Clemson with Trevor. They have a good D, but they let a Trevorless Clemson put up, 40? And BC put up 31 the week before. NC's coming off 2 games where they scored 50+. And now come off a COVID bye, which has been money-making this spot this year. Mac Brown, he has his team clicking on all cylinders offensively. And we think they might get the outright win here at home in a statement game for the ACC. They know if they beat Notre Dame, win the ACC, they're definitely in some talks for the playoff. I mean, North Carolina, they average like 43 a game. It's almost double the points that Notre Dame averages, 22. They average 100 more yards per game. This offense is crazy good. Carolina will come out hot. Notre Dame's going to have to play catch-up, which they're not used to. We'd like us in the win, but again, wait for it, watch it. We're not technically putting it on the board yet, but look into it. Look into it. Buy some points with Carolina if you feel. But this might be good money line play. We got one more for, I think this is a Saturday game. Oh yeah, the North Carolina game, Notre Dame, that's a Friday game. There's a lot of action on Friday. We haven't gotten all to everything yet on that, but we do have one play on Saturday for you here. But again, more will be on the app. We're going to go to Kent State, team we talked about earlier, winning us money. They're playing the Buffalo Bulls, -7.5, over-under sitting at 66. It's a big action battle of the undefeated right now. Both sit 3-1 ATS, 2-1 ATS to the over. I mean, it's a tasty over here. Both teams are averaging 40 a game. Kent, listen to this. 52.7 points a game is what they average, and it is number 1 in the country. Buffalo's at 44.3, which ranks 9th in the country. These teams are just blowing people out of the water, but again, their defenses suck too. Listen, Kent State has a nice QB receiver tandem with Crum and McCoy. He has other weapons at his disposal as well. They got a pair of 100-yard backs. Crum also has some legs too. He ran for over 100 last game. Buffalo also has a nice duo in the backfield. This Patterson guy and Marks Jr. Patterson put up 301 yards last game on 31 tries. Kent State does have a decent D, but they gave up 35 points to Akron. They have a good pass D, but the run, not so great, right? They're putting up 177 yards a game and now play a Bulls team who averages 259 a game. And the Bulls D is just as bad. They give it about 158 yards per game rushing. This has the setup to be an electric match with both runs, with big runs and big throws. The good thing for college, why we like the over, is the clock stops for a first down. And there should be plenty of first downs in this game. Take the over before it hits 70. All right, we're going to give you one game for the Sunday, and it is, we're going to go to the Vikings. Carolina Panthers at Minnesota. We like the over here. Another over. We're going to give you two overs. Over or under sitting at 48.5. Listen, the Vikings' struggles on D are horrible. They're off a short week. This is going to be hard to fix against this scrappy Panthers team. They're proven no matter who's in, they're going to put up points and keep it close. No McCaffrey, no Bridgewater. They're going to win games still and put up points. Minnesota just gave up 31 to Dallas. Carolina averages 23 points a game, which is not great, but now they get Bridgewater back, possibly McCaffrey, but we won't count on that. We're not even counting that into our bet here. Even if they don't, though, we get Bridgewater back too. This dual threat quarterback, Walker, he's very capable. They almost pushed the number past 30 last game, but he threw 2 interceptions in the end zone, which could have easily been chalked up as points, right? We'll chalk that up as a rookie mistake. But again, if he gets in, he's got experience next game. But he held his head high, came out with a win, nice win, 20-0. Vikings D gives up 27.8 a game, which is almost last in the NFL. I mean, we got to think this is going to be around 25 points for the Panthers, as they average 24.8 away from home. The Vikings have been consistent on offense all year, and shouldn't change here now that they have Dalvin back, which is even better for our bet. They've only had 2 games this year that they scored under 20 points, both against top-tier defenses, Chicago and Indianapolis. Expect both teams to be in the mid to high 20s, which will be plenty to push this over. Great over ATS trends here. Over is 4-0 in the Panthers' last 4 games after allowing less than 90 yards rushing in the previous. 5-0 in their last 5 games in Week 12. Vikings, 4-0 to the over. Last 4 games following a straight-up loss. Over is 4-0 in the Vikings' last 4 as a home favorite. Over is 4-0 in the last 4 versus a team with a losing record. Over is 6-0 in the Vikings' last 6 home games. Take it before this goes up. Well, thanks for listening in. I'm your host, Lorenzo De Costa. This is Capper's Cave, free picks and shit. Please follow us on Twitter at Capper's Cave, at Cave Cappers, or get our app. I'm going to say it again. Get our app. You find it on the Google Play Store. You find it on iTunes. Oh, no. Is that it? iTunes, is that where you get stuff now? Yeah, I think so. So get it. Get more picks. And we're out.